It is with great pleasure that I say hello and welcome to the one and only Luis Mandylor.
Thank you. Thank you for having me again.
It's so good to see you.
You too.
And see, we picked a very nice place.
Very original.
Very original.
Raw. I love it. I really do. I love the elements. You know, all these things are always done so perfectly indoors. We have the smell of the rain and the water and the grass and the sports element.
And people working out
People
around
working
us.
out around us, yeah.
Which is great.
Inspiring.
That's why I chose this place, because we both share the passion for sports. And beer, but beer is not relevant.
Very relevant afterwards.
After, yes. Because I got a little favor to ask you after. Now I ask the questions and you answer, and then you teach me some boxing in the end.
Deal.
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 So Luis,
Yes.
what are you doing in Bulgaria?
Oh. Where do I start? Well, I'm of Greek descent. We have a family apartment in Athens, and I'm currently renting a place here. I have been married to a Bulgarian girl for a couple of years, if I may mention that.
That's amazing.
A big part of why I'm here, obviously.
Yeah, well, that's usually how it goes.
Yes, I came here 4 or 5 years ago. I'm not sure if we talked about this, but I did a film here, my first time in Sofia. And honestly, I really fell in love with the city. I love it here. It's so different to the big cities, and that's what I love about it. The elements, the food, the freedom. It's a trip back to the old world as far as I'm concerned, and I love it. I love in an hour I can go to the village. I love I can go to Plovdiv. Like I said, the food and the rules, which we won't get to all of them at once, but it's a little different, let's just say, and I love it.
Yes, a little different is very nicely put. Thank
Yes.
you for saying it like that.
Hey, man. Hey, Jen. Just getting a soda.
Who the hell are you?
I'm Joey. How are you doing?
I've told you this before, but I'm a huge Friends fan. And last week there was the Friends reunion, the movie
Yeah.
that came out.
Yeah.
And I was so happy to see you have a part in it, because the creators actually talked about your scene with Matt LeBlanc and the fact that they would have cast you as Joey.
Yes, I didn't even know this. I mean, I heard about the reunion. I actually thought they were doing a show, as in shooting another show. I didn't know. But I woke up that morning to a lot of wonderful emails and messages from friends and associates. Yeah, I mean, it's a great story, long forgotten by me until the other day. But yeah, I went in and read like many other actors for Joey, and I think I went in a few times. But to be honest, I never knew that Kevin Bright and the associates were considering me so seriously. I really didn't know that. But what I do know is they call me back to play Joey's twin, I think 6 years later, which was an absolute blessing. And I'm very happy to be part of the show and the history that comes. Carl. And truth be told, after the show, Kevin Bright, I'll never forget this. In front of the audience, we do the wave, and the associates came to thank everyone. And he shook my hand and he said, "We never thought we'd find anyone dumber than Joey. Congratulations." And I laughed at that. I took it as a compliment. I hope it is. And then he said, we have because in these shows they have storylines and they have options. And I think at that point they were looking for Bruce Willis for a long time, for many years, and he was never available, but he became available, as Kevin told me, the arc of my 7 episodes where Joey was going to book a show and I was his stand-in and I just destroy his life somehow. I don't know, but
I would have loved to see
it would have
that.
been great, but it's not how it went, and we have to move on and accept it. I was just very lucky to walk into that apartment and say those famous lines that Matt LeBlanc delivered so very graciously.
Please tell me the line.
Well, I say them wrong, so I have to do them Carl's way, okay? How are you doing? How you doing?
How do you say thank you in Greek? Ωραία βυζιά.
Ωραία βυζιά.
That's it, you got it.
Ωραία βυζιά.
Ωραία.
Another film that has, what is the word that I'm looking for, perhaps marked your career in a memorable way, is My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Uh-huh.
So, can I ask, are we going to see that story again,
Number
perhaps?
three? Number three? I'm not sure what I'm allowed to say, but I'll say that there's some discussions And we all obviously hope that it happens because it's become part of our culture now too. You know, I think that people love the family and love what it represents, which I think is family at the end of the day. And there's discussions, so we're all hoping that it happens. Of course, it would be a blessing again. It would be a dream.
What do you remember from the first two movies? How did they change your? Well, I'm not going to say career because they changed your life. I'm sure, not only career.
You know, it's interesting. It's what you kind of think, but I guess the way I'll answer that is a good question. You know, every job I think that has high profile helps. It helps an actor's career or an artist's career. You do a high profile gig and it's going to help a little bit. So obviously they help the cause, yes. Recently the Debt Collector series have been really good to me with my dear friends Scott Atkins and Jesse Johnson, amazing director. So if you haven't seen them, they're pretty, it's when I log on to Netflix it says top 10 in Bulgaria.
Hey!
Debt Collectors, you know, it's... Well, I took the step of coming to LA, training as hard as I could for a year and a half, and right at the end when I got offered my contract is when I got my first movie called Necessary Roughness. And it's a great story if you want to hear it real quick. I actually had a fight on a Sunday and I got so badly beat up that on the Monday I went and gave the best audition of my life because I was just beat up and I didn't overact. That is the absolute truth, and that's how my life changed. So I went there for the boxing, and life's road, you know, one road led me to another. So, and that's one thing good about the arts is you get to walk the shoes of characters and express a heart and a soul from someone else's shoes. And not only is it difficult, but it's also a real gift if you live in that world for a little while.
As I mentioned in the beginning, in Bulgarian, you didn't understand that. But yes, tell me about your other talents.
Kako? It's a real word, right? It's not a bad word, is it?
Word.
It means what, right? What?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Luis, you only know
No, I know some bad words too, so, you know.
Tell me the bad word.
No. Hey.
So tell me about your other talents before we move to the
My
bad
other
words.
talents?
You...
Look, I call them hobbies.
Hobbies, okay, let's call them hobbies.
But I'm pretty good at them. I love music. I've been a closet songwriter for 30 years. I have a lot of friends who are musicians, so I've written a lot of songs with them.
And you have a song coming out.
I have an album.
An album coming out.
With a Russian band called Mariel. So it's Louis and Mariel, my dear friend, the magic man I call him, Artem. He and I produced this album for my movie Smokers, which is coming out, and we're really happy with it. So I finally got to do that. That was on the bucket list.
Cool.
And that's the first song's coming out next week, and I illustrated the film clip, so it's another one of my hobbies. I'm an artist and I love to paint and sketch. I'm going to sound like an idiot here, talking about myself like this.
No, but
what else?
This video is about you. I'm asking you questions about you.
Look, I'm a real lover of life, and I've realized I'm over 50 now. I wasted a lot of time when I was young, and it's one thing that I will always regret, and my advice to anyone who has an aspiration in life to achieve is time is the deadliest sin. I mean, wasting time it gives me nightmares. And I've wasted a lot of it because I've lived in my head a lot. So now, the last couple of years, I actually made a conscious decision to wake up every day and just do everything I love to do. And it's just changed my life because I'm happy. If I want to paint a picture, I'll paint. If I want to go away for a week and do something in privacy, I'll do it. If I want to play, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, and I love it.
Yeah, we always get in the way of ourselves and doubts and whatever, and I've got rid of all of that baggage and it feels amazing.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for this.
Oh,
but
yeah.
now, the other part is coming.
Which one? Where you give me a beating?
Well, hopefully yes.